What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now Plus. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about a little news story that happened a couple days ago. Trying to play catch up, a little bit of a lighter day, so I thought let's tackle it. And it's not good news, okay? It's going to get a little ranty on you in this video. Hopefully, you guys don't mind. It's talking about Sega with a subscription service. Now, this is actually hilarious, ironic, whatever word you want to use. I was actually talking to a friend of mine about this on last Tuesday. I think this was talked about maybe on the Friday. So we were like 3-4 days early. And we were talking about the idea of like what happens when all of these companies try subscription services. And I think we're kind of on the same page. My general philosophy and thought, okay? As time goes, I think a lot of companies are going to try. I think companies will try to do subscription services. You've seen it with GTA or like Rockstar, has a subscription. And look, I do think some of them will work. When you have a bigger franchise like a GTA, you can do that. You could do a COD subscription service and you could probably get away with it, right? Now, I'm not really talking about like double dipping when you have like a COD subscription service and then it's kind of built in through Game Pass. Like it can get messy really quick, and it will. And so kind of jumping to the end of my prediction is I think a lot of companies are going to try this and most will fail because ultimately you're seeing it with television and movies, all those kind of subscription services. We literally have lived this, right? You live the era of, okay, let's drop cable, let's go to subscription, but then those prices keep going up, and now you need like 20 subscription services to really watch everything. You're right back at cable, only actually it's more expensive now, and I think it's worse just overall. So what really has happened is now you get consolidation. Now, certain, and I've lost track. Like, I don't actually know which company even has subscription services anymore because sometimes they'll buy each other, and like Hulu will fold into something else, which will fold into this, which will fold into that. I've lost track. I really don't even know how to keep track of it all. That will happen, I fully believe, with gaming. I don't know why. I don't know why you can't just kind of see with your own two eyes, like, well, this is what happened. This is the pitfalls of it, and so maybe we shouldn't do the same thing. So jumping into the news, this is not like a rumor. This is not like speculation. The president of Sega talked about this. So he literally said that they were evaluating some opportunities of its own. We're thinking something and discussing something we cannot disclose right now. But he did say they find subscription services very interesting. And again, that's where they talked about evaluating opportunities. So it's like they're gonna try. I actually really believe. And look, I mean, you've got Sonic, you've got like a Dragon, like those two are immediately like things that come to mind. Deep franchises, you got so many of them. I don't know. I cannot see it working. My initial tweet, I think initially when the news came out was like, I hate it. I think it's a terrible idea. I don't know. I don't want to be buying or paying for renting, whatever you want to call it, right? Subscription services for all these freaking companies. It goes more digital than ever before when you do something like that. Like when you do subscription services nowadays, right? You're going like triple deep into digital versus physical. Already don't like that. You've already seen it with Game Pass, like discussion around it. Like one of the first questions is, okay, well, what does the service need to do to like become or remain like viable, right? Like what's the numbers have to be? What's the split between sales and that? Are you making games just for the sake of doing it on subscription services, or now like are you trying to sell them? It just gets, I think, so messy. And look, ultimately, like Sega, this is like the first one that's kind of like popping up, and it's getting like most of my anger, but it's honestly not even really towards Sega. It's like I kind of look at this as the beginning. Again, I literally was talking about this with a friend a few days before it happened. Like, look, here's the thing. Ubisoft already has one. EA already has one. So many of these companies already have it, and I don't really think they're all that, like, popular. Again, maybe some of them are versus others, or like a PS Plus, a Game Pass, Nintendo Switch, stuff like that, but I don't know. Like, things like EA Play, is it really all that worth it? Ubisoft, like, from Ubisoft, maybe it's because they've become more of like a punching bag, but I don't know about theirs in particular. It's a good deal. It's like $18 a month. I did it for Star Wars Outlaws. Why buy Outlaws for $70 when you really just don't know about the quality these days, versus paying a subscription service for 1 month, renting the game basically, and seeing if you like it or not. That's what I did for Star Wars. It's probably what I'm going to do for Assassin's Creed. $18 versus $70 feels like a good deal to me. And I don't know, like, Ubisoft Ubisoft's in. I'm not saying that's like the whole reason Ubisoft is in a pickle, but like Outlaws sales were low, and I don't know. I just, with every company that joins, when you have 20 subscription services, people are not doing every one of them. It's why, again, like I was talking about folding into each other, right? Look at PS Plus and Game Pass. Like sometimes services will be included, right? Like Ubisoft, I don't remember if Ubisoft is included in one versus the other. I think you can play Ubisoft games that you did through the subscription of Ubisoft Premium or whatever. You can do it through Xbox. I think EA Play is part of Game Pass. So again, like all these subscription services exist. They're folded into each other. Some are included on some systems. Some aren't. If you have Ubisoft Premium, I don't think you can actually use it on PlayStation. At least I'm pretty sure. I remember going through it with Star Wars Outlaws. So it just becomes messy. It just becomes, honestly, a gigantic mess that's not really worth it. And it's going to have the exact same effect, I think, that, you know, the Hollywood kind of industry has had, where, yeah, you'll have everybody try it, but ultimately only a few will survive, and the rest will completely fail and kind of backtrack and just go back to doing what they were doing. That's kind of, I think, what's going to happen here. So best of luck to Sega. I guess I like a lot of their games, so I'm not saying like they're terrible or anything, but it's a terrible idea, I think. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure, as always, you're subscribed to the channel, bell icon turned on, and I hope to see you all on the next one.